I have an unfinished hat. Yeah, I started making myself a hat. It's going to be very bright and annoying. My mother judged me. Well, she mocked me for making it out of granny squares. But I think people do that. You're wrong, Mom. You're wrong. Anyway, yeah, I was sick most of like this past week, so that's one of the reasons why I didn't really post anything. The other being that I'm really lazy. And so yeah, just I have a list of things again, and the first one is OMG Banter, because for like all the club listings, I mean, obviously it's just like one of those weird language things that you don't necessarily expect to be different. And I mean, I know we have Banter in the States, but it's just I feel like they use it more here and they use it differently, and kind of cracks me up because they list it as like an attribute of the club. Like they'll just be like, oh, fun gatherings, good workout, great banter. I'm like, sweet, I love banter. It's just every time I see one of those signs, it makes me smile. Also, I wrote that note at like midnight as I was going to bed, and I was thinking like, banter is such a funny word, and I love how they. And then I was like, I need to write this down. So yeah, my list, my wonderful list. I don't know, since I was sick last week, I feel a little bit like I haven't really been meeting people. And it's kind of weird to me because I feel like I meet a lot of. I mean, it's actually kind of interesting because with Freshers Week, just the fact that everyone is a fresher and everyone's kind of new. I mean, all of the upperclassmen are here as well, but at the same time, you can kind of just like turn to people and be like, "Hey, are you fresher too? Oh, well, yeah, I'm an exchange student, but blah 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 and everything like that." And there are a lot of Americans, and it's getting on my nerves. I'm like, why did I come here? Not to see more Americans. I did not come here to hang out with more of me. But I don't know. It kind of helps keep it, I guess, a little bit more normal. And then, like, I have someone that I can just say, like, oh, I'm a junior here, as opposed to if I say that to a Scottish student, they're like, who, what? I'm like, I'm a third year? Like, is it? But, so, I mean, but I meet people, but it's kind of like one of those frenzied, like, oh, hi, who are you, what, like, introduce yourself, and then, like, where are you from, what are you studying, and it's just, like, the same list of questions, and then they leave, and you're like, who was, did I, what, who was that, I don't remember their name, so I don't know, I feel like I haven't necessarily made a ton of friends yet, but I hope that will change once I start classes, because I'll see people more, and also once I start like going to societies and things like that, which is another thing I have to talk about because it's interesting here because Scottish students don't pay tuition like that. It's free, but I mean they have to pay like for accommodation and their books and everything, but it's not like the States where I'm paying like ridiculous amounts of money a year, and so then like my laundry is free, and like clubs are generally free because they're funded by the university because it has all of this private money coming in. But here, there's not as much private money coming in, and so you have to like pay to join clubs, and most clubs it's only like £3 for like the entire year, and it just kind of like gives them something to start from, I guess, to like put on events and things. Like I joined the Doctor Who Society and the History Society, and they actually gave me a card for the History Society, which made me very happy. Let me see. Hoo-hoo! I have a card. It's like really cool. It was just like a thin piece of plastic, and then it has like the adhesive side over it. But The bearer of this card is a fully paid member of the University of St. Andrews History Society for the 2010-2011 academic year. Fancy, fancy. And, so yeah. But, like, but then they're, like, for most of the sports clubs, like, I kind of want to join the riding club because I would like to ride horses, even though one almost stomped on me when I was a child because I fell under it. Anyway, and then my mom was like, no more horseback riding lessons, how about that? And, so, but yeah, so I went to the meeting actually tonight, and it was kind of like, it was like 35 pounds to be a member, and then 20 pounds per lesson. Like every time you go to a lesson, and like 20 pounds for each of like the like riding events you do. And I was kind of like, I'll see about that. So, I don't know. Like most of the other societies, there's also Harry Potter and Gin Society, which I'm very tempted to join. We'll see. Um, but I don't know. It's kind of weird for me to pay for clubs. I mean, sometimes with some clubs you have to pay like a fee for like if you're using like a lot of computers or something. I don't know, just like for equipment and stuff like that. But I mean, obviously there's not a ton of equipment for a history society, so you're like, but £3 isn't too bad. It's more expensive ones that I kind of like. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what I do. Um, but yeah, so hopefully when clubs start up and everything, I'll start meeting people and actually feeling like I have like friends here. I mean, I'm friends with my roommates, I guess. Not officially because it's not on Facebook. Ha, need to find them. But yeah, because it's kind of weird because I feel like I haven't met Scottish people. Because I have one roommate that's Scottish, and then one that's American, one that's German, and then an English girl. So I don't know. It feels very strange to me that I haven't really felt like I've met the local color, and I'm in the middle of a tiny, tiny town where you think that would be all I would meet. But yeah. So this past weekend I went with the Arcadia group to the Borders region, which was really cool, and we went to see all these we went to see two of the ruined medieval abbeys, which was really cool. And I do have footage from the day, but it's all very bad footage. And I'm debating whether I'm going to put it up at all, just because most of it I took while I was walking, and so it's like, and it probably would induce epileptic seizures. And also there was one where I zoomed in to look at something, and then I turned it back to my face and forgot to zoom it back out, so you have a really lovely view of the acne on my cheek for like 2 minutes. I don't really want to show that to the world. That's why I wear makeup. But I don't know, if everyone is like super interested, then maybe I shall indeed post it. Um, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was making me die of history nerdiness because it was a medieval abbey. It was fantastic, and I don't know. I had like a religious experience. I was surprised by how much it affected me emotionally, and because it just like it just kept hitting me like, wow, I'm really here. I'm standing in a medieval abbey, or like when we were at Triquare House, which is the oldest continuously inhabited house in Scotland, which has been inhabited since like the 10th century. Um, it's just like, I don't, it's just like, this is older than I can even really comprehend. And I wish that I could, I mean, maybe it's part of like why I'm so interested in history in the first place. Like, I'd like to know the stories. I want to know the stories of what happened in these places and the people that lived there and the people that lived around it and everything. you know, like all the aspects, and it was just like, it's just very interesting. That's not the right, yeah, like I can't even come up with a word. I should have planned this out and come up with a word beforehand. But I just I felt so lucky that I was there. I was so grateful that I like have this experience, and I it still feels a little bit like it's just a trip, and like I'm gonna have to leave soon. And sometimes I have to stop myself and be like, no, this is actually gonna be here for a while. You'll be able to come back to this place, and that's kind of a relief because I don't think I would be able to process everything if I didn't have like more time here. And I don't know, it's just like I kept like standing in these places and thinking like, I mean, I guess like everyone that lives here must know what they have, but at the same time, I'm like, do you people realize like what you like? Really, I hope you all appreciate this because we don't have anything this awesome back home, and like, really, you need to really love this place, like love it enough for the both of us. But I don't know, I was getting choked up the other day. It was it was very, very cool. I was so happy that I went. Even though I had to get up at 4:45 in the morning so that I could like get my ass out of bed and then walk my ass into town to get a bus, to catch a train, to walk through Edinburgh to the study center where we were actually leaving from so that we could get on a different bus and drive to Traquair House, which was like, I don't remember how long of a drive because I couldn't think. I was practically delirious at that point. But yeah, so it's been like the past week for me. I'm I should probably start looking through my reading list for my class tomorrow because I got an email from my professor about like, oh, by the way, you all should probably have a good idea of what essays you're gonna write this semester. And I went, ah! And so yeah, I should probably go figure that out. But I'm excited to start class so that I can have friends and something to do. So yeah, I will post things later.